So, Jelena, what do you think about single life as a millennial?
Um, Wait, the show or
Just being single as a millennial. Do you think it's difficult for us or
I,
our generation?
I do. It is difficult
Why is that?
because we have social media. Uh, we have social media. We have um, just social media is basically a big distractor. Whereas
Mm,
if I think if we were in probably like the 60s or even the 80s,
mm-hmm.
all we had school and we would meet someone, or we go to the grocery store and meet someone, and it would be easier. But now we have to wait till somebody crawl up in our DM or make it on our Instagram post, or like or heart our Instagram,
Mm,
or like our tweet. I don't know. It just seems like it's difficult for us to just find someone, the right person, but at the same time we also have that um, myth of the right person for us. We
mm.
have all these unattainable goals that we want our person to have, but it seems like we may not be that person either. We
Yeah.
just want them to be who we trying to become.
Nine times out of 10, we're not living up to the expectations that we set for our partner or our partner's goals, the goal partner that we want. Like our ideal partner has that. They typically have to make money, be beautiful, have so many talents and gifts. But are we fulfilling all of those same metrics?
Right. No, and I definitely agree. Did you ever? I think it was Carrie Hilson
Mm-hmm.
who made the comment. She was like, "We don't have to be. Stop trying to get someone who is far out of your reach when you're not even there. Like
Yeah.
if you want, I think it was Carrie Hilson. I don't want to.
I love Carrie
I
Hilson.
do
So,
too, but I don't want to make the wrong person who said this, and I can't remember who said it
mm-hmm.
exactly, but it sounds like something Carrie Hilson would say. But she was like, "Stop trying to make the perfect person when you're not the perfect person.
Exactly.
Like we're supposed to basically try to find someone who's comparable, who can make us whole. Like I know,
Feel the other parts of
right,
yourself,
right,
right?
and
The missing pieces.
right. That's what I think a partner should be. It's not someone who is just so great, and basically after we find this person, it's like, oh well, I'm done with life. I've completed my duties. I got this person in my life now.
It's perfect. Everything's just phenomenal. You don't have to work anymore after that. No more effort to put in. You don't have to go through any trials or tribulations with that person in order to create something special. It's just there. That's just how it
Yeah,
happens,
and I
right?
think yeah, and I think our that's how our generation is. It's like, well, we got what we wanted, and everything is just going to be perfect.
Instant
Right,
gratification.
that's what it
We are
is.
we fall into it all the
We
time.
want that instant gratification. And anything we do, like if it be like this podcast, like we're looking for that instant
Yeah, we
gratification.
want a million views
Right,
and a million listens on this thing by tomorrow,
right.
or else we're gonna feel like we failed.
And that's just our that was just how we were raised.
Yeah, essentially. And like going back to what you said previously, if we were to drop all of us millennials back in the 60s, and I don't think we can do that in a vacuum because essentially what you're asking us is if we put everybody from if we take our generation and put us in the 60s, we will have an easier time. But does that mean we go there with the same anxieties we have? We go there with the same sense of wanting to be accomplished and wanting to have all of these things? Are we gonna, or are we just going back to the 60s where relationships are and pretending that this is just how love is supposed to be, and love is just going to come to us because we're in a different generation or time?
See, I think in the 60s, and this is just all my opinion, and then some stuff that I probably got from different articles I read.
Mm-hmm.
In that period of time, like I don't think everyone was so happy with their significant other or spouse. That it was more so, I have someone, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be getting married. I'm supposed to be having kids.
Mm-hmm.
But if they cheat on me, you know, we know, but we sweep it under the rug. We don't tell anyone. We have the anxieties, we have the insecurities, but we can't let anyone know. But our generation have we embrace mental health.
Yeah,
We
which is
embrace
great.
right,
It's honestly phenomenal. One of the
right,
best parts of our generation right now.
right. I agree, totally agree. We embrace the fact that if we ever feel like we are just having one of the worst days, the worst times of our lives, we can reach out and call someone and talk to someone who won't be of judgment.
Right.
But I think if we were to put our generation into maybe the 60s or 50s generation,
Mm-hmm.
that we weren't equipped. We wouldn't be equipped, or they wouldn't be equipped to handle all the things that we come with, because we have social media compete with. So
Right.
we have our whole selves, and then we have ourselves who want to be equated to what social media says we have to be.
Right. The fame, the clout, the
Right.
having the filters on our faces and trying to
Right.
be as perfect for social media. I think that's because one of the things that we were raised on is we should strive for perfection, we should strive for fame, and we should strive for fortune. But through seeking that, do we lose who we really are? Like,
I think we have, like, at a certain point we have to. I think, as you know, when we were younger, we didn't have all the social media. Like, we're older millennials,
right,
but now as we late 20s, early 30s, going into mid 30s now.
right,
And I'm talking about myself. I'm going into my mid 30s. um, I have to be cautious of what I see on Facebook, because I have times, or Facebook or Instagram.
mm-hmm.
We, as you know, as kids, we were told, like, you can be all that you can be. Like, I guess that's the army, right?
Yeah, that's I don't recall hearing that, but
Oh no.
yeah, but I mean, I get the gist of what you're saying.
Right.
Essentially, we should always strive for more,
Right, we should strive
regardless.
for more. But then if you look at Facebook or anything on social media, it doesn't matter. You're gonna see that one person who has the husband, the wife, the kids, the house.
Yeah,
They on the sunny vacation.
we want that. All
And
of
it's
us
like, why can't I
crave
have
that.
that? Why don't I have that? I'm just sitting in
Right.
my room and I want that. And then it's probably like, that was probably a vacation that they really had to work hard to even save up money to get.
Mm-hmm.
And what if their marriage was on the rocks and it was like, okay, we are going to, um, this is our vacation to kind of try to piece our life back together. What if that kid could have been like, that could have been their blessing kid. It probably took them years to get pregnant, and they finally got there. And it's like, we don't know their story,
Of
so
course.
we can't judge our lives or make our lives look like theirs, because we don't know what they've been through, and they don't know what we've been through.
Of
And
course.
I actually I had to take some time off of social media, because I would get depressed about what I'm seeing people who I went to college with, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they doing so much better than me.
And it could get depressing, can it?
It
It's
can. It's
extremely. It's
really,
difficult.
yeah. And it's like, why am I still doing this, or where I'm at? I feel like I'm stuck in a rut, and they're out there living their best lives, doing whatever.
Right.
And but
Unfortunately, see, I think one of the things that comes with social media is that anxiety that we're not doing enough, or we're not living up to our expectations. And one of the real issues that I have is that when we see someone else's social media, we don't know what chapter of the story, their story that they're in, because
right,
our chapter could be completely different, and we're all doing completely different books. So if my chapter doesn't completely match your chapter, that doesn't mean that your book is better than mine. It doesn't necessarily mean that my book is better than yours. Only thing that means is we're at different chapters of our lives. And if you're judging yourself by what you're seeing somebody else do, then of course you're not going to be, you're not gonna feel fulfilled. I read a book, and one of the key aspects he kept saying in the book was that if you judge yourself by others, you're going to feel less than. What you should always do is judge yourself by who you were yesterday, because that gives you something to strive for, and that gives you a goal that you can actually try to obtain. And I feel like that goes by relationships as well. If you feel as if yesterday you weren't you might have not have been looking for the same person yesterday as you're looking for today, because you're a different person today as you were yesterday, even if it's just a small aspect of yourself. Maybe you just yesterday you didn't work out. Today you're working out, and you're striving for more, or today you're reading more, or you're doing more. Like, these are important factors, don't you think?
I think that's very important. And I saw that. I think I saw a quote like that too,
Yeah.
someplace. But yeah, and I think we put pressures upon people that could be our spouses, and we actually run them away because they don't meet that criteria that we have in our head, because someone else says that their spouse has that meets that criteria. Like, I guess something that you could say, okay, like, I don't think education is something that's important to me,
Right.
but I guess in all actuality, I don't need someone who has a doctorate degree. I don't even have a doctorate degree. So how would that even
Right.
make how would that make sense? You know? Or, oh, I need someone who owns 2 homes and lives in Beverly Hills. I don't know, I guess. But okay, one, I've never even been to Beverly Hills, and I
Meaning,
don't even own 1 home. So why do I need
so why are your
yeah.
expectations up that high? And but that's what I hate to say it and generalize, but that's what our generation typically strives for. We want better, but not necessarily while being better.
Right.
So, and it's not really an indictment on us as people. I think it's an indictment on our culture and how we're raised and how we think and how we're taught to think that, yeah, I deserve the best, but I'm not really putting out the best always. So,
Well, I think when you say we deserve the best, we do deserve the best.
yeah.
I agree with that. But when I think of just now, as I'm getting older, and when I look at what I want a future spouse to be, when I think of deserving the best, my well being,
Mm,
my mental state,
absolutely.
someone who can support me spiritually, physically, mentally.
Of
Um,
course.
if you have, I don't deserve to be ever touched in a abusive way.
Right.
So that's out the window. So if you can't respect me to be gentle, be kind with me, then obviously that you're not needed.
Yeah.
Secondly, financial. I don't need no one who makes millions and millions of dollars. Like, the whole point of us coming together is to actually work together and become the best version of ourselves together. It's not about being you having the most, because I really don't want anyone who's like, I already have this, because if we were to get married, it's you're probably gonna be like, that's mine,
Right.
and I'm just living in your world. I'm not a part of your world. I'm just li- it's your world, and I'm just living in it. So
Yeah. I I really that resonates with me because I completely understand that building with somebody is always the goal, not to that one person is carrying all the weight or the other person feels as if they're just there to reap the benefits of somebody else's hard labor, because that just doesn't sound like a conducive relationship in any way, shape, or form.
it's not conducive, and some people, you know what? Because I've seen shows like, have you seen this show on Lifetime? I think it's on Lifetime. It's called Marrying Millions.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, most of these, the men or women, they are either millionaires, and then they bring in these people who are not millionaires. They're in relationships with them.
Mm,
Okay,
I'm sure that works out well.
well, no, because these people who are not millionaires, they want to be they want to be with these millionaires because they're like, oh, I can live the finer ways of life.
Mm.
Yet, are you? Because you living in their world.
Yeah.
It's not your house.
Yeah.
It's not your cars.
Of course not.
All you doing is just trying to get into that little society, and then more than likely, if they do break up with you, like
You're going back to the lifestyle
you going back
that
to
you
your
had.
yeah. Like,
You're not, but now you're accustomed to a different
right.
lifestyle.
So you better hope they don't ask for no prenup, right?
Yeah.
Like you going right back to your, it's like
Yeah,
what you getting out of
it was sarcasm when I said I thought it would work out. I really had no expectation of it working.
Well, sometimes like I've watched the show maybe I'm like 3 or 4 times, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these people, it's like, okay, they may work, and then after another scene, it's like, nah, they're not gonna work.
Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like you can't do this.
come on, y'all.
Cause me, I'm like, if I was with someone who was just like a billionaire, I think those are little secret societies that they do certain.
Oh my
things.
God, they don't even open Pandora's box because I got so many thoughts on that.
Cause I'm like,
It's scary to me.
Right.
That's terrifying. You got $1 billion. Do you know what you could do with $1 billion?
No, because you might have a $10,000, and I still wouldn't know what to.
Because you're hilarious.
Like, what do I do with that $10,000? Like, am I gonna try to pay off my student loan?
Yeah, hey, that's what I would do.
Right.
Shoot.
I'm like, that's basically where I'm at this point. But $1 billion. You know what? If these people were smart, they'd be like, oh, let's get married, pay off my student loan. But if it don't work out, then like, I need that. You know what? You need to go back to school or something.
Shoot, I don't know. Give me your degree or something. Hand it over.
That's how I feel because I'm like, I don't think it's that important because if that's all I'm marrying for is so I can have that status,
right?
Where does the happiness come in?
That's a great question.
Like, when do you say? Because you have to be the whole time you're married. You have to be trying to figure out how can I still be at that bar for that person. How can I make this person happy? How can I do this? But when do you ever say, okay, I'm happy. Okay, I feel satisfied. I feel complete. You always just trying to reach a certain status in yourself to make that other person feel happy.
Yeah. I don't know where the fulfillment comes from. That's difficult because usually that's what a relationship should consist of. Both individuals feeling fulfilled.
Right.
And if both individuals aren't fulfilled, then that typically means that there's going to be a rough spot in that relationship somewhere.
It is. It's going to be a rough spot because like you've had relationships where you just didn't feel like you wanted to make it work because like I know for myself, I wanted to make a relationship work just because I didn't want to start all over.
Oh yeah. That getting to know somebody again is it's a pain. It's honestly a pain. Yes. And like I don't want to know. I don't want to keep asking people what their favorite color is. And
what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, what are your hobbies? Oh,
jeez,
it's cringe.
Yeah, and it's like, why do I want to go back to that stage?
So easier to just stay with this person. And I know everything about them. It's so much less work.
But then when I was in that, and I was with this person for like 2 years or so, almost 2 years, and I knew the whole time. I think after the year, it was like, this is not right. Like, I'm not happy. He seemed happy, but I'm not happy. But I'm like, okay, I don't want to go back to square one.
Facts. Who wants to do that?
Single again.
Yeah.
I was in my late 20s, and I'm like, I don't want to do this again. Like, it's that time. At 26, I was like, I was gonna be married, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not fulfilled. But I'm like, I don't want to go back to square one. Okay, so thank God he decided to break it off with, like, he really didn't break it off, but he realized I wasn't happy, and he kind of just like let it go, which I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull that trigger.
Yeah. Maybe you were. Do you think maybe you were complacent? You were becoming
I was
complacent.
I was becoming complacent because the thing is I saw all the red signs. You know when people be like, "Well, her eyes just not open. She can't see the." I saw every red sign. I'm like, but it was more so I just didn't want to start over again because I'm like, dang, I gotta start off at square one. I actually gotta meet someone again, go on first date again.
Wouldn't that be characterized as laziness, though? Emotional laziness.
No, I think you have to open yourself up to a person again, and then
That's difficult.
that's where I see it. Like I don't think that's emotionally lazy. I think that's like you have another opportunity of getting hurt again,
Oof. No one wants that.
and
Yes.
that's to me is scary.
It's
It's
terrifying,
going
honestly.
into um, unknown territory. Like anytime you go into a relationship with someone, you going into unknown territory, and you have the risk of getting hurt.
True that.
So, do I want to get hurt again?
Nah,
No.
probably not.
So I'm like, eh, that's just how I feel.
I completely understand. Coming from my side, any relationship I've been in, 9 times out of 10, I've wanted things to work, but I think it's my cynical and jaded attitude that makes me believe that, eh, I don't know if I'm as good as I could possibly can be, as I possibly can be. And that's wrong for me to make the other person have to see me grow instead of seeing me at my best, at my pinnacle. And I guess in some ways I was sabotaging myself because I didn't really, I wanted to be better, but I knew I wasn't better. Therefore, I couldn't love myself. Therefore, I couldn't allow myself to love someone else. And that's just not good. And I hate that I put individuals through that. Like, at the same time, you want to be better, but you can't just snap your fingers and be a better version of yourself. It's a process and
Well,
it takes
I don't
time.
think so. I think a lot of people, like I know I have a fear. I can be a self sabotager
Mm,
because I can meet someone really nice and I can actually sabotage the whole thing within an
really?
hour.
Oh no. Oh no, cuz that's not a lot of time.
I know. No. Okay, let's not say an hour. Let's say
Okay.
maybe 3 days,
Okay.
because I can be like, okay, this is good. I have had experiences like, wow, this is going too good. It's too good to be true. Let me get out.
Oh no.
Let me run. And that's who I am. I don't know why I do that.
Well, you're going to improve over time, cousin. I
You
guarantee
shall
that.
too.
Absolutely.
You shall too. Like it's life is a process.
Indeed.
We did not jump into it. We did not come out walking when talking. So
Indeed. Very true. And to our listeners out there, you will be better as well. Every day you are getting better. And I guarantee you the journey will be worth it.
it would be worth it. Because you know what? I bet there's that one person. Like I believe there's. I don't know if I believe there's someone for everybody, but I believe there is someone for you.
Oh, yeah.
But and they can handle all your quirks and craziness.
And they'll probably love them.
Right.
Because there's that, and I do believe there's that individual that completes who you are. So if you feel as if like, oh, I can't stand these things about myself, that other person adores it. And I think that's what we're all looking for.
Mhm. Yeah, of course. I think that's what we all want. We need that
Yeah.
because
We strive
we
for
weren't
it.
meant to be here for alone. We need we need somebody,
Yeah.
and I believe that like we need somebody in our lives. Like we were not meant to just be alone.
Yeah. For sure.
So You want to wrap this up for now?
Absolutely, cousin. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And this has been another episode of the Oxymoronics podcast. We thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, this was. Make sure if you guys enjoy it, definitely subscribe and check out our other um, podcast videos, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Join in the conversation, okay?
Thank you guys.